Hello there again, everybody. This is going to be Jund League number 58, and in very recent and exciting news, something cool just happened. Ta-da! Banned and restricted announcement update. And it could not be better. Field of the Dead, Mystic Sanctuary, Spirit Guide, Tibalt's Trickery, and Uro are gone. So according to the update, it'll be effective on the 15th, which is today. So I'm not sure that it's happened yet, but I'm pretty sure it has. And the new rules change, which will disable Valky to be cascaded into. Actually, you can cascade into Valky still, but you cannot cascade into Tibalt because the Tibalt side costs 7. That update is not going to, in theory, take effect until February 17th. So 2 days after today's announcement. So that's all very, very exciting, and I can't wait to never die to a Field of the Dead again. I put up a separate about 2-minute video containing my initial reaction, and it feels good to win, you know? It feels good to win sometimes. Alright, so this is the current modern metagame, which as of now is not very representative of what is going to be continuing to happen, because this is the last time I'm ever going to say this. The number 1 deck is currently Uro. It's the last time I'm ever going to say that. After that, we've got this other banned card enabled deck. We've got the Violent Outburst into Valky deck. And then finally, in spot number 3, we have a deck untouched by bans. It's the Blue-Red Blitz deck. And we've seen a pretty big resurgence in burn. Yeah, right, Snapcaster. A lot of people are making jokes that like Tarmogoyf and Snapcaster just got unbanned. Happy ban day indeed. So yeah, we've got lots of mid-rangey stuff and a few combo-y decks in the top 15. But again, obviously a bunch of these just got counterfeited. And then after all of these big meta representation decks get pushed out, everything else is subject to change. So I don't expect this to be accurate at all. As of last night going into today, this is accurate, but again, the announcement means that a lot of this is going to be counterfeited, and I'm very excited to never have to say that Uro is number 1 again, and it's a happy day. So this is the list that I'm going to be working with today. It's moderately adjusted to compensate for the recent bannings, which again I'm pretty sure have already taken effect, given that the announcement said it was taking effect on the 15th, which is today. I have reduced the number of graveyard hate pieces. I'm not playing the 2 Nile spell bombs in the main deck anymore. Happy day. They're instead replaced with 2 more grindy mid-range tools. Dark Confidant was a card that was typically pretty good versus the Uro decks, but it's still probably great versus any of the other mid-range and control decks. And now that mid-range and control outside of Uro may be viable again, maybe we even see an uptick in non-Simic mid-range and non-Simic control decks. So going to be trying out the Dark Confidant again. And other than that, that's not the only change that I've made in the main deck. And then in the sideboard, I've made a few extra changes. I'm still playing 4 pieces of Grave Hate just because graveyard decks still do exist. There's still Dredge out there, and there's still things that Ashiok is good against, like various versions of Amulet Titan or just Titan in general. And then for land hate, because lands still do exist, Tron still exists. I'm playing 3 copies of Cleansing Wildfire. There's recently been a pretty big resurgence of Burn. So when I'm playing against Burn and I need more low to the ground removal, I can swap out my more expensive removal for things like Fatal Push. And then Collective Brutality, obviously excellent versus Burn, and it's also going to be good versus control decks. And then Kitchen Finks is another really excellent grindy tool. It's going to be great against things like the Mirror, in addition to being great versus Burn. And if I play against anything where I really want to slow down or just have a really good value play, or if I play against like the Hammer deck, for example, because that card didn't get touched, that deck didn't get touched by bans, I've got Kolaghan's Command as another really great anti-combo, anti-midrange, anti-control card. So yeah, that's what I'm working with. But yeah, just make Jund great again 2021. Yeah, feels good. Yeah, you can still play BBE into 7 mana Walker until Wednesday. So we might play against that this league, but they won't be able to play Simian Spirit Guide in the versions that are just turbo trying to do that. So that's exciting. So let's just get into this league and then do some damage, hopefully. But real excited. Alright, is this the first match of New Modern? And before Valky turn 3. Alright, we've got a keeper. So this Verdant's going to get Overgrown Tomb just to complete all the colors. Yeah, incoming prime times. That's why I left the Ashioks on the sideboard, just because I still expect them to be pretty useful. Wow, and the opponent has already mulliganed to 5. That's pretty lucky. Watch, it's Tron. First matchup of New Modern, Tron. I mean, we've got turn 2 Tarmogoyf and our Kolagon's command, so that's a good way to do it. Arid Mace. Okay, so maybe burn. In the event that it's burn, maybe I don't want to play this Tarmogoyf here because it could get bolted. And Tarmogoyf is probably one of my best threats in the matchup. So I think that means a natural turn 2 play here is going to be Kroxa. Just because, again, I don't want my thing getting bolted immediately. And then having a creature in the yard means if they add an instant as the 3rd type, Goyf won't die. So this looks like a good Kroxa turn. Arid Mesa and a Molda 5 could mean Dredge, in which case Kroxa is going to be pretty bad. But I think the only way Kroxa bites here is if they're playing specifically Dredge. And it's Dredge. Alright. Alright, so this is going to be difficult game 1, but Tarmogoyf is probably the best threat that we've got access to. So, grateful we've got that. Alright, and they had the Haggle anyway. They didn't Dredge the Imp? That's interesting. Maybe that was just a misclick. They didn't Dredge it again? Okay, that's kind of curious. Oh, okay, so they're trying to hit a land. That makes some sense. Land would be good. Inquisition, not good. Alright, well, the Goyf is going to get to live, so let's get that thing down. They could play, like, Lightning Axe in the main, but unlikely. And they should definitely be milling. They want to find, like, Dakmor Salvage or something. So now they're thinking, do they want to try to draw a land again? Yeah, they're trying to draw a land, it looks like. I mean, the longer they don't find it, obviously the better for us, because we need to start getting the beat stick connecting. All right, Liliana obviously not great. Is it worth casting Inquisition here? Probably. They could have stuff like Cathartic Reunion. And there's the Cathartic Union. I'm not going to take the Narcomoeba. Yeah, Cathartic Reunion is like one of the is probably the card that can make them explode, assuming they hit this land at some point. Still not feeling super secure. Like, as soon as they hit the land, they can start, like, getting their loam back. They can start escaping Ox. They can start really dredging. But they're missing, so that's good. Untop Dredge would be best case. Alright, still no. So I think an Inquisition here is still free. We can take the Narcomoeba as a worst case. Alright, they drew another Narcomoeba. Okay. I'm not going to take the Amalgam, obviously. And, like, I could hold up Fatal Push. But Inquisition's also probably fine to just take potential Cathartics. It could still very easily die if the opponent finds their land. There it is. We've got Push to get one block out of the way to try to get a Goyf hit in. So this might just be like an escape on Ox. They get to keep one card. No, they get to keep two. They get to keep Imp and something, ditching a Prized Amalgam. Luckily, two of their Narcomoebas are already out. And they've already hit their land drop, so the only way that they would get this Amalgam back now is if they hit one of their two remaining Narcomoebas, at least as far as this turn is concerned. And Gwaif's a 4/5 now, and they're at 7, so even a Bolt could be lethal. Or well, they hit more Dredgers, it can Conflagrate. Or they did hit an Archimedes, and a Chill. Okay. So the opponent is in this. Alright, we hit our land finally. So they've got a 5/3, we've got a 3/4. It's creature, sorcery, land. So adding instant would make it a 4/5, but that still trades with Ox. Interesting. Alright, so how do I want to go about this? They're going to be able to... They've got the Conflagrate already, so they're going to dredge a card. They can shoot something for 4. They've also got another Bloodghast. 2 Bloodghasts. So if I don't fetch Shock, these Bloodghasts won't have haste. If I just regular fetch, they won't have haste. If I regular fetch and get a basic, they won't have haste, that is. Liliana isn't going to do much. I could Pyromancer, just make some tokens, buy some time, but I mean buying some time isn't very good. If I season Pyromancer, discard Liliana and an instant, Gwaif is a 5/6 and no longer dies to a single block, but it would still block with Ox and an Archimedes. I think Kolagon's Command is the best thing I've got. Sorry, season Pyromancer is the best thing I got, but that means I have to fetch Shock. I think I'm gonna do it. The Conflagrate's gonna be annoying versus this. Alright, definitely ditching Liliana. And then I guess I'll ditch the Kolagon's Command just because it's the most expensive thing. Alright, so 5/6. We can attack, kill both of their blockers. But then they'll have Ox loaded up again. But they already have access to Ox. And I need to punch through. The thing is, like, if I attack and they like block with Narcomoeba, do I just die? They can Conflagrate these things out of the way, play a land, get back 2 things with haste. I guess they don't have haste unless they hit me. Yeah, it's attack. Because like if they get the things out of the way, they can attack for 3, 4. Yeah, not lethal, but close. Yeah, like they were always gonna have access to another Ox. Alright, I mean, I'm happy with my Gwaif living too. Alright. I think now they do just win because they get to get their stuff back. Let's see if they see it. They're at 16. The thing is, like, now I can't even kill them through 1 hit anyway, so we're just pretty much dead on board here, right? Needed our land a little earlier. Kind of got choked at the 3 mana plays. Yep, and then Conflag is double red. Alright, let's save the world some time and some clicking. John does great again as soon as we die to Dredge, right? Alright, so we're bringing in the Ashioks, gonna bring in the Spell Bombs. I like the Brutalities on the play because they can take the whatchamacallits, the Cathartic Reunions. Kolaghan's Command's going to be weak, as is Maelstrom Pulse. Liliana's are going to be pretty terrible. Croxes are not super exciting. Maybe we need one more card, so it's probably just the Pulse. But yeah, none of these other things are looking particularly exciting. Alright, well, this isn't Hearthstone, so we're gonna mulligan this. This is real close. If I find green, this hand is excellent. Mulliganing to 5 is pretty rough. Like, we might want to just mulligan more aggressive for, like, a Spellbomb or an Ashiok. We've got the Thoughtseize for the first enabler. And if we can draw a green source immediately, this hand is great. But if we don't, we kind of just sputter out. I think I'm going to ship again. If one of these lands was a green source, I think I'd keep, but this hand has such a high possibility of breaking, and like our success rate really isn't that great either. Alright, this is great. This is really, really good. I actually think Trophy gets worse now that Uro is out of the format. Because a lot of decks are going to use their mana more effectively. Like I would rather Trophy versus the Uro decks. Oh crap, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's bottom the expensive thing. And let's bottom, I guess, Lightning Bolt. Yeah, because like other decks are the decks that are starved on mana. Uro wasn't starved on mana. But I mean, every other deck every other deck that has a hard time or like actually needs to put an effort to hit their land drops, like giving them a land is real bad. All right, so they've got one Cathartic Union. Let's snipe it. Yeah, they just killed you with field, but Trophy was never impacting that. Like you were dying to the field regardless of Trophy. Alright, so if they've drawn exactly another Cathartic Reunion, I'm going to wish I had played the Spellbomb to maybe snipe the yard with triggers on the stack, but I think I really want to get my threat down. Yeah, I mean, Trophy ramps them, which is the same reason why I don't like Trophy, like, in general, is it ramps your opponent when you really don't want it to. Alright, if they're just loaming here, I'm okay with that. Sure. Alright, so they've got a, what was it, a fetch land? Let's flip an Ashiok. Alright, we flipped an Inquisition. I mean, I could just cast this Inquisition, but if I want to draw the card off of Spellbomb, which I'm pretty sure I do, I need the black available. Alright, they hit a Stinkweed Imp in that. I don't know that I want to pop the Spellbomb here. I mean, we don't know of another Dredge card in their hand. They could cast a Loam just to get back one land and then still have a Loam. But I mean, they've already got an Imp in the yard and this Chill. I think it's probably worth just to pop this. We're drawing so many cards that maybe I should just be using this pretty aggressively in hopes of finding more. Like, they'll probably fetch here and then loan back their one thing. And then we'll hope to either draw more ways to interact with the yard, or we'll hope to have them brick on their Dredge 3 next turn. We really want, like, Ashiok or something. Push. Not great. I mean, we get to just play Bloodbraid and start applying maximum pressure. This could even hit Ashiok, which would be the ideal scenario. Goyf is great, too. Goyf is just another really big beat stick that can race them. Alright, so we're gonna hope the opponent doesn't get ridiculously lucky off of their Dredge 3 here. Wow, alright, that was pretty lucky. 3 relevant ones. We've got an attack for 4, 7, 9 lined up. So we're a 2-turn clock right now. Alright, we can push that out of the way after revolting off of a fetch land that the Ren and 6 can grab us. This Bob's doing really well, though. Revealed Lightning Bolt. That's really good. And we revealed a fetch as well. Fetch is interesting. Maybe I just want to start going upstairs with the Ren and 6s, because this could become a damage race. The opponent didn't like Cathartic Reunion or anything here, so I don't think they've got one. I think they probably would have done that over Imping, because they'd probably hit like a Narcomoeba or something as a blocker. And for a similar reason, I think I'm going to want this Bolt going to face. Can I just kill them here? 2, 5, 9. This is 1 point short. Can I add a type somehow to grow the Goyf? We've got creature, artifact, land, instant. We don't have instant. So I think adding instant actually just kills the opponent here. So yeah, I think we do get to just kill them here, actually. As long as we don't tap out in a ridiculous way. Alright, so... Oops, not that. Let's Fatal Push this out of the way now that we've fetched. That adds instant. Right? Like, Lightning Axe could break this up. Zap. Okay. So as it turns out, aggressively using the Spell Bomb came in handy. Because remember, they would have had an extra 3 life, and we would have been at 3 less because of that 1 Creeping Chill. I mean, I'm liking something pretty similar. I'm gonna grab a drink real fast. Okay. So we're on the draw with only 4 pieces of Grave Hate. So we're going to be hard pressed to win, but we did aggressively mulligan to 5 for a Spell Bomb, and it paid off. So I'm probably going to do something similar here. Alright, well, not keeping this hand anyway. Yikes. Alright, well, gonna do it again. I mean, Thoughtseize into Goyf is one of the better progressions. I think I'm gonna bottom tapped land and definitely another land. Let's just do this one. Alright, so maybe they've got like the Haggle or something. I mean, if their payoff is Cathartic Reunion, we're gonna be able to snipe it. Do I want to fetch basic Swamp for any reason? The only thing that doesn't let me cast given my other lands next turn is the Wrenn and 6, which I don't think is gonna matter. Like, I might just want to save the 2 life. Like, I'll have Swamp, Mountain, then maybe this gets, I guess, Overgrown Tomb in that case. But then I'm fetch shocking anyway. Like, if I get basic Swamp here, I guess it saves life in that, like, if I want to get basic... I'd have to get basic Forest next turn. I think I'm just going to save the life. It's a bit risky, but I think I have to play a little risky against Dredge. So, hoping for not multiple payoffs. Alright, they've got 1 Cathartic Reunion. Let's snipe it. They've got Lightning Axe as well to potentially deal with the Goyf and enable their dredging. Alright, Loam. Yep, alright, so that enables the dredging too. So currently we've got Sorcery, Land, and that's it in the yard. And they would add Instant and Lightning Axe. I don't think I want to play Tarmogoyf into the Lightning Axe. I'm going to really need to keep my one way to win. So I think I'm going to go land pass. And I've got the Mountain in hand, so Wooded Foothills is the worst fetch. Alright, so I guess they're just loaming back 3 things. Maybe they just want to hold up a Lightning Axe. Yeah, really need to find... That's bad for me. Really need to find a Spell Bomb or Ashiok. Ideally Ashiok. Alright, and then this will get... I guess if I draw Seasoned Pyromancer, do I want to cast it immediately? I don't have any Lilianas in the deck, so there's not actually any double black. So like maybe Stomping Ground is actually just better here, especially because like if I have the other black source rolled up. So Stomping Ground means if I draw Pyromancer, I can play it. All right, so still only a 2/3, and instant would make it a 3/4. I guess let's Ravine go. Jeez. It's pretty good mill too. I don't want to have to bolt the Snark Amoeba, but every point of life is going to matter. Alright, well now their Bloodghasts are going to have haste. Goyf's still just a 3/4. I need him to mill like Shriekhorns and stuff, but it's just not happening. So like I could bolt the Bloodghast, but that one's coming back. So I think I'm gonna be bolting the Narcomoeba. And then taking the hit. Alright, well, Lightning Axe still gets my thing out of the way, right? Now that there's instant in the yard. Yeah, I can just no longer win. Oh, hey, I'm a killer. I'm a fan of his content. Alright, so this is fine. Not super exciting. And there's Tron. Alright, so it could be Eldrazi Tron. I guess we're gonna get to see pretty soon. It is Eldrazi Tron. Alright. Well, I like the Eldrazi Tron matchup a lot better than I like the regular Tron matchup. Alright, and there's no land in the yard yet, so fetching would make Goyf's a 3-4, but Goyf doesn't actually block Reality Smasher quite yet. Look, no hand. Alright, I guess I'm cycling this now. Kolaghan Span's a good one. Fortunately, you're going to have to kind of just take this hit for 9. Alright, just a 3-4. Yeah, gotta just take the hit. And then we're facing down another Smasher next turn at a minimum. Another Goyf. That can have us double blocking a Smasher, but then we still just die to other Smasher plus Thought Knot. The only way I think we don't die here is if we can bluff a Fatal Push. But I think Yama's got to assume that if we had a Fatal Push, we'd have done it. So I put this at about 0% to get past him, but gonna try it anyway. Didn't play the other Smasher. Alright, well I guess the plan is just Blast Zone then. It gets kind of hard for him to lose if he just kills both of my things and has the only creatures in play. So this is probably a winning line from the opponent as well. Gonna need to find a way to kill this Thought Knot and then do something else. Alright, well we can combine Bolt and the Kolaghan's commands to kill the Thought Knot. We can do something similar to get rid of the Reality Smasher as well. I think I just have to go land, go, because after the opponent blows the Blast Zone, I'm going to want to use the other mode to buy back a Tarmogoyf. So I think I just have to pass here. But yeah, if they blow Blast Zone, and then play Smasher, I just die. But they've got mana to do it all. Alright, we're alive. More land's obviously not a very good help. All right, so now we need to find. Oh, I think Liliana would be one of the better draws, but even with Liliana, like edicting the Smasher, we can put Goyf in front of the second one, but the Blast Zone kills the Goyf, so we're on a no outer. Okay, so Eldrazi Tron. We can bring in the Cleansing Wildfires, we can bring in the Kolaghan's commands. Fatal Push kills Thought-Knot, but that's about it. I think I want the bolts more than the pushes, because bolts can kill Karns. I don't think I'm wanting Kitchen Finks, like just as a creature. Ashiok stops map, but that's about the only thing. I think I'm just going to bring in these 4. Shave like a bolt. What else do I want to take out? I'm not taking out Goyf, I'm not taking out Dark Confidant, not Kroxa. Decay is not great. It can kill a map when I'm on the draw, but that's it. And then Ren and 6 also not super strong. Probably keep 1. This seems fine. Yikes. Got a mulligan, no threats. Much better. I don't have Ren and 6 in the deck. I've got 1, so I think I'm going to bottom not a land because I need the lands to hit my Bloodbraid and my Kolaghan's command. So I think it's between Push and Kroxa, and then I think Kroxa is going to be real good here. Push is going to be good versus only Thought-Knot, but we don't know that the opponent has those. So I'll bottom that and then just really try to hit my good top end. Swamp. Alright, well, is there any reason to just play that first? I don't really think so. I mean, I may be wanting to like turbo put cards in my yard to escape Kroxa, but I don't think I'm drawing a lot of fetches in a row. If I draw a lot of fetches in a row, I'm probably losing anyway. So if for whatever reason this expedition map doesn't get cracked here, I'll probably Kolaghan's command it. Like, if the opponent just, like, plays a Chalice on 1 here, I'm probably still just killing the map. Like, at this point, none of my super impactful cards care about the maps. Or, sorry, care about the Chalice. Alright, well, that card I also need to kill. I could have the opponent... I think I'm just going to have the opponent discard a card here. I could buy back the Kroxa, but like playing the Kroxa has the exact same effect as just having the opponent discard a card now. So let's get, I guess, we want a lot of red. Let's get Stomping Ground. We've already got more swamps. Alright, so you'll discard and I'll destroy a Maze Mind Tome. Like, maybe I should just be destroying the map, but for all we know, the opponent has Natural Tron already, and, like, this Maze Mind Tome is going to be guaranteed to be very good versus us. And then next turn, we're just going to jam a Bloodbraid and hope it's good. Alright, and they've got the Natural Tron. Alright, well, this is worst case, unfortunately. I mean, at least leaving the map alone paid off. Alright. there's the 1 Ren and 6. It's funny because like pre Uro, I was just like Karn too on top of it all. Arm Coil, all right. Pre Uro, the super hostile Jund matchups were like Dredge and Tron, and then of course here they are. But yeah, if those are the decks we're really gonna be seeing a lot of, then I'll just slant my sideboard more towards those. No big deal. Obviously, I only brought in 4 cards for each of those matchups, so obviously the sideboard is not super tweaked to be beating those. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot of sideboard cards that are good versus both Dredge and Tron. They're kind of 2 different animals. We don't have a fetch to pair with these Wrens, but we've got 2 lands and spells that we can cast. Oh gosh. Alright, well, Thoughtseize was a good draw. This looks like it could be like a version of Titan Shift, which is also a pretty disfavorable matchup, assuming I'm right. And there it is. So they've got Bolt, Bolt, and a Pact. Well, I think I'm just going to take the Pact. The Stream Decker has not been updated yet. I need to do that. Alright, well, I could just play... If I play Tarmogoyf, a single Bolt kills it, because there isn't actually a land in the yard. So I guess I'm just going to play Wrenn and 6 here and go up. Yeah, the Stream Decker, it'll be fixed for the upload. But yeah, I just forgot to update it. Acid Moss. Alright, well, at least we have something to get back with Wrenn and 6 now. Inquisition's not a terrible draw. We can take a Bolt and ensure that our Goyf doesn't just get shot down immediately. But I mean, taking a land out of the yard also means that playing Goyf doesn't do much. Fairly aggressive. Alright, just more bolts. Alright, we might have a chance here. The opponent could just draw a Titan off the top and then nothing matters. Bloodbraid's a good one. I wonder if I should just shock here and just start throwing lightning bolts at the opponent's face. I think I will. My mana's going to be pretty tied up casting things like Bloodbraid. And I'm going to need to throw as much damage at my opponent as quickly as possible. So I'll shock to hold up a bolt. And then if the opponent draws Titan, we kind of just die. But they haven't, so that's good. So if we draw a land here, I'll just cast a Bloodbraid. Never lucky. I should have tapped Basic Forest, but I mean, it actually doesn't matter. Let's just go with the opponent's face. We kind of have to. Like I said, we got to push damage. Alright, can we fade Titan again? They've got 1 Pact out of the deck, so effectively I'm assuming 7 copies. Or they could draw Scape Shift. They've got 7 lands in play. That just does it, assuming they don't mess this up. Valakut plus 6 is 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. That'll do it. Okie dokie. Brutality can take Pact, and it can also take Scape Shift. Ashiok stops the searching altogether. Pushes aren't going to do a whole much. They could kill like Obstinate Baloth, but that's really it. Wildfire could be nice for getting rid of Valakuts, but they're pretty likely to just search for him and put him into play. I think I just want these 5. And then Kolaghan's Command isn't great. Abrupt Decay isn't going to kill much of anything. And neither is Renin 6, really. Yeah, I don't think I can play Cleansing Wildfire. Is turn 2 Tarmogoyf and some bolts good enough? I mean, as far as pushing damage is concerned, this is almost as good as it gets. But we've got 0 ways to interact. It's really, really close, but I think it's a keep. Like, this hand can push damage really quickly, and we kind of need to be the beatdown as far as this matchup is concerned. So I think this is on the low end of keep. And then we'll get Overgrown Tomb as first green and second black. Alright, playing Goyf here means they get to bolt it. But I need to get the pressure down. And if they've got the bolt, it's just unfortunate. Explore into Redland? Jeez. Alright, well at least they can't bolt the Tarmogoyf anymore. And Renin 6 is a fine draw. Something we can do that actually advances the board. Another Goyf would have been better. Alright, and they've got land in the yard. They don't have instant though, so this looks like a time where I just want to throw a bolt upstairs. Because that makes Goyf deal an extra point. We've got some burst damage. We're attacking for 6 next turn, and we've got a bolt available. So I mean, we can kill him through a blocker next turn. Or the turn after next if we were able to Bloodbraid, but obviously now we can't. Tarmogoyf. Peatland. Alright, I'm going to throw another bolt upstairs at the opponent's end step. Is it Titan time? Then it just doesn't matter. There's the Titan. Alright, well we can, if they get like a Colony Garden, we can bolt the plants, then have outs to drawing like a Liliana or something. Oh wow, this is interesting. So if I attack and they block, I can bolt the Titan to kill it, but I'm still not killing the opponent through just them playing mountains. They've got 5 mountains in play, so every mountain after this is 2 lightning bolts. If I bolt the opponent here, and then this Bloodbraid hits like a way to kill the Primeval Titan, I just win. Let's go for the line that wins. And something interesting to note, had I minused on the opponent at least 1 turn prior, I would have been able to kill them. I still think I want to minus now, because if I hit another Renin 6, that's an additional out to just killing them. So I need to hit Liliana, I need to hit Renin 6. That's kind of it. And this hits a spell no matter what, so fetching first doesn't particularly matter. Let's say yes. Alright, so I guess another burn spell does it too. So Lightning Bolt, Kolaghan's Command, Renin 6, Liliana, all of these things win the game. Not an Inquisition. Alright, we're just dead. I needed to get it exactly there. Even Brutality does it. Yeah, we had so many. I think we were like 40% to flip a win there. Because like obviously lands don't count. I think we've hit all of the pre-Euro bad matchups. Were there any others like that were really bad? I know Titan is really bad. Dredge is real bad game 1 and like pretty even afterwards. It's kind of it. And obviously Tron. Yep, we need another land. Ooh, Grixis Shadow. Big fan. Alright, so Thoughtseize is what I think best enables their quick shadows. And it's also their best turn 1 play. So I think I'm just going to take that. Like, I could take their threat because there's only one. But I think I want to defend these Lilianas because these Lilianas are going to be really good. So if they can only deal with one, the second one is additionally going to have very good value. Shock pass. All right, well we drew the land. Let's just get this untapped, I guess. Here comes the Thought Scour. Channeler. Alright. Well, it's big, but I get to kill it immediately with this Liliana. And just like having a Liliana in play versus Shadow feels like a really big game. So I guess they take backup Liliana here. Like, Pyromancer is also very good, but Liliana is one of the best cards I could have versus them. Bolt isn't great. I'm probably just going to discard that. And then I think I'm going to have them discard without the information that I'm Inquisitioning them. So I'll plus first. And I think I'm keeping this other Liliana. Like, if I Edict them next turn, I wanted to play a Liliana immediately after. And, like, this Bolt just really doesn't kill much of anything. So I'll ditch that. They played this. There goes the push. Alright, show me what else you got. We got Stubborn Denial, Death Shadow, and a Cling. I'm not going to take the Cling. It's between Shadow and Stubborn Denial. I mean, I've got the removal spell in play. I should probably just take the threats. But I mean, a Force Spike is going to be annoying. Let's just take the threats. Like, the Force Spikes really aren't even that bad as long as they don't have something to make them ferocious. I expect them to, like, fetch shock cycle here. Bye-bye Seasoned Pyromancer, I guess. Well, if they get the Pyromancer, they're not drawing a card. Green Source, untapped. Excellent. Do I want to plus this Liliana at all? Just keep eating the hand? I think at this point I am just going to keep plussing. Like, they could bolt the Liliana and then I'd be out of Lilianas. But I think I just want to keep on eating the opponent's hand here. Like, I am casting this Bloodbraid, which means I have to discard the Liliana. Alright, so they've got just a Stubborn Denial. They can still activate the season. They can still activate the escape on their Cling, which they might have to on this Kroxa now. But I mean, eating the Stubborn Denial is nice too. It's not going well so far, Ian. We're 0-3. I think we played against our 3 worst matchups, funny enough. Or not our 3 worst. 2 of our 3 worst, and then a variant of our 3rd. We lost to Dredge match 1, Eldrazi Tron match 2, and then in match 3 we lost to I already forgot. Something bad for me. Oh, it was Primetime Scapeshift, just good old fashioned red green. So it's like there's 2 things in my yard that they care about. I guess they care about Kroxa more, but that doesn't have them drawing a card, which is nice. Yeah, it was Valakut. You did call Primetime. This is factual. Well, I'm gonna cast them if I keep drawing them. I guess I'll cast the next one. They're both gonna be at 4, but this puts an extra card in my yard if I hit another Kroxa. It's like, what do I value more, a Liliana in my deck or a card in the yard? And I think it's a card in the yard. Like, maybe it's just better in the deck because the opponent has access to Cling anyway, and Kroxa therefore doesn't really do a whole lot. But they're so far under the gun that I think it just really doesn't matter. Like, they can gain 3 life here, but they'd have to gain 3 life 2 turns in a row to not just die to the onboard. So maybe they're going after Pyromancer now. I mean, their Cling has been very good. Yeah. Yeah, and then, like, drawing a single threat here doesn't work because we've got Liliana in play. Nice. Alright, so playing against Shadow. Definitely want these other copies of Fatal Push. Kitchen Finks is going to be pretty alright. I'm assuming they're playing things like Gurmag Angler and maybe even some Snapcasters, so Spellbomb is probably fine. Wildfire is probably too cute. They only play 1 or 2 basics, but that doesn't seem very good. I guess Kolaghan's Command is another consideration. This has me needing to cut 7. I think I'm going to cut Inquisition before Thoughtseize because Gurmagangler is a pretty big creature that Inquisition doesn't touch. And then they're a mid-range deck at heart, so I think I do want to be cutting some number of hand disruption spells because in the top decor they're really, really bad. But I mean everything else seems fine. This is a lot of top end, but I mean in the top decor, top end is what I want to hit. I think I'm shaving another bolt just because I'm not really going at the face very often and it doesn't kill many of their creatures. Yeah, maybe I should just cut more of the hand disruption, but I don't want to invert my curve too much. I mean, I want all of these cards more than I want these Thoughtseizes. I guess, like, Renin 6 isn't ridiculous. Like, it's good at buying back the lands, but not so much at killing stuff. Like, it kills Snapcaster, but that's it, maybe. So yeah, I think I'm just going to take out 2 either Inquisitions or 2 Thoughtseizes. I think I want to keep the Inquisitions. Just because, like, I think the 2 life is going to matter more often than taking a Gurmagangler will matter. It's like more often than not, if they draw the Angler, they're just going to play it off of the top, like, immediately. Because if they draw it, like, past turn 3 or 4... they're probably just going to play it immediately, and then hand disruption wasn't taking it anyway. Like, whereas the 2 Inquisitions or the Thoughtseizes, like, the primary goal is probably going to be just, like, clear the way from a Stubborn Denial if I'm trying to resolve a Liliana or something. Yeah, sounds good. Gonna have to be color conscious because, like, we need double green for Kitchen Finks. We've got lots of black spells as well. So I would expect him to take, yeah, either Inquisition or Fatal Push. So you go. And then given the current texture of my hand, I think I'm going to be getting Overgrown Tomb here on 1. Like, I think I want to cast Kroxa on 2, so maybe Blood Crypt is better then. But, I mean, I'm going to have to fetch Shock next turn anyway, assuming I don't want to get a basic, which I don't think I do. So yeah, I think the 3 lands I'm going to try to have in play by turn 3 are probably just 1 of each shock land. Also, I think getting Overgrown Tomb here, it makes drawing a Blackleaf Cliffs have the highest upside. Because, like, if I draw a Blood Crypt, like, getting a Blood Crypt here would be fine too, but it makes future potential draws slightly worse. So I do think the correct land here is just Overgrown Tomb, given I want to be able to push without fetch shocking or getting a basic next turn, but I also want to set up the green for the Kitchen Finks. Alright, so do I Fetch Shock to kill it now? I think so, because if I draw something to do that costs 2 mana, I'm going to want to be able to play it. So I think I will just go ahead and use the Fetch Shock now. Say yes. And like I even have a thing already that costs 2 mana, so Liliana's really, really good, especially because they don't know about it. They also don't know about this Verdant, so I'll play the Mire. And I want to continue setting up green. I think this Verdant is going to get basic Swamp. So if I get Stomping Ground here, getting Swamp means I've got all of my colors, and then also makes the Liliana the biggest surprise. Also sets up my double green for the Kitchen Finks, because obviously Stomping Ground makes green. The only thing that the setup doesn't allow is Seasoned Pyromancer, because I won't have double red. But that's probably fine at this stage. Everything I have is double black and double green. Double red is not the biggest concern right now. Timing on that's a little weird. I guess, like, they want to know what to discard with the Kroxa. Alright, so now the worst case scenario, I think, is the opponent has Shadow plus Stubborn Denial backup. Because, like, Liliana's going to take care of a Shadow all day as long as they don't play multiples. Oh, this Liliana. Okay. Well, that Liliana is going to make the Kitchen Finks look... The back half of the Kitchen Finks look a little bit more awkward. Alright, so they put a Shadow in their hand. So, I mean, we get to play this Liliana, though, and go up. Alright, having drawn Forest, maybe we want this to get second black and second red. That would be Blood Crypt, having me go down to 11. Probably fine. And I do think I want to get the Liliana down under the Stubborn Denial. Like, if they have a removal spell here, the Liliana Last Hope gets to kill the second half of my Kitchen Finks, which doesn't seem great. So I think I'll just use the opportunity to resolve Liliana. And then what I'm discarding is a little bit more interesting. It honestly might just be the Kitchen Finks. Like, given the Liliana, my Kitchen Finks gets much worse. And I do want to be able to guarantee that I could cast Bloodbraid next turn. It feels weird. So, like, if I discard Forest and I don't hit the land, I'm discarding... So, like, next turn, if I draw land... I'm playing land casting Bloodbraid anyway, which means I'm discarding Kitchen Finks anyway, so I guess I'll just discard the Sphinx. It's awkward no matter which way, but I think I definitely want a plus here. Forest also a really awkward draw because it's the one land that doesn't cast Kroxa. Alright, we know they've got a Shadow here. And another Shadow, okay. So tapping out of red is interesting, but I mean, they left the blue up. So that could just mean Stubborn Denial. Alright, that could clear the way of a Stubborn Denial. And I guess I should Edict first in case Bloodbraid hits another copy of Liliana. I'm going to want to cast it. And I am just going to jam the Bloodbraid here. Like, I could Inquisition, but then, like, the Shadow is attacking down this Liliana anyway. Spellbomb's okay. And then, obviously not attacking, and then, hopefully, the opponent lets me block so that Liliana can be used as another way to kill a Shadow. Liliana can buy back another Shadow. Popping this now would fight an Angler best. But that's about the only way not popping immediately bites me. It looks like that might be what's happening. Oh, it's Kolagon's command buy back a Shadow. Alright, maybe they should have killed the Bloodbraid and attacked Liliana so that way I don't have anything. But I mean, this play from the opponent is better if they just really care about attacking me. I think I am blocking. I've got Inquisition to deal with the shadow in the opponent's hand. And I'll Inquisition before popping Spellbomb. Alright, that's interesting, because this means I can escape Kroxa if I want to, but Kroxa kind of has to chump block. Right? The opponent has Shadow and something. So like if I escape the Kroxa, that puts me down to 10 if I choose to get basic Swamp. Which means that if the opponent is able to fetch Shock, it just has to chump. Because I also think I want to pop the Spellbomb here because I want to prevent the opponent from deploying 2 threats on this upcoming turn. I mean, I could just empty pop the Spellbomb, but it doesn't seem good. So like if I Kroxa here, they'll just discard like a Shadow or something, buy it back, play a threat. Like if I put the Kroxa in play though, at least maybe the opponent has to think about whether or not they want to attack. It's risky, but I think I'm putting Kroxa into play. This also has me dying to a push, but like the only other upside is like if I pop the Spellbomb and then like I have to draw something really good. I think the riskier, higher upside line is just get Kroxa into play. I'm trying to leave a bunch of types in my yard for potential glyphs being as big as possible. Discard Cling. Alright, so their other card is Shadow. I think I'm going to pop the Spellbomb on empty here, because if they don't hit a creature, they can't get a creature back. Like, the timing just never works out with this. So I'm hoping they don't just mill a creature here. Oh, wow, okay. There's a Jace the Mind Sculptor in their deck. Wow. Alright, well, they bricked. Okay, so they've got Shadow and a random card. Alright, well, that means I'm chumping. Holy crap, did that do it? 2 to the opponent, get back Kroxa, play Kroxa? That does it. Nice. Sick. Alright. I mean, that's one of the better matchups. That might have been the only card in the deck that won on the spot there. Is there anything else that does 5 damage? Not even Bloodbraid. It's like Bloodbraid can hit a bolt or something, but they could still just block the Bloodbraid. Like, it needed to be 5 damage of reach in 1 card. That was it. The opponent has revealed Luris. Alright, so that could mean Hammer Time. It could mean Rakdos Shadow. I don't think this hand's going to do it versus either of those. Second land would be promising, but we don't have that. This hand is pretty slow. But I think I'm inclined to keep, and I guess I'll bottom a land because I've got lots of them. Alright, so Rakdos Shadow it is. That one targeted me. Verdant 6 is a good one. I think I'll go Verdant here. And then next turn I can Stomping Ground, or I can get Stomping Ground with this, and then Blackleaf Cliffs, use the Renin 6 to kill the Bomat Courier. Interesting that they were confident in playing their Bomat Courier, even though they knew I was drawing Renin 6. That might just mean they didn't have another one mana play. Like if they had a Swift Spear or a Soulscar Mage, they'd have played that. So the read is no Swift Spear, no Soulscar Mage, or maybe they just know they're going to be able to Thoughtseize me and take it out. Oh, the thing I said before about maybe no Swift Spear or Soulscar Mage, they didn't know about the Renin 6. Oh no, they did not ignore me. They saw it with the bauble. For some reason I was like, oh, it was a Goblin Guide, so they would not have known until after they attacked, but no, it was a bauble. Two mana thing, please. That's a 2 mana thing. Doesn't impact the board, but at least it's something I can do. Eats their Croxa. Oh, they're just bolting it to put things in their yard? Is that what's happening? I mean, there's still a land off from that happening. Pretty strange. Like, maybe their hand is just land then. That might be telling us that. Like, they could, if their hand is land, they could, like, at a minimum put Luris into their hand. And I don't wanna pulse this Bomat Courier because then this Luris goes off. Okay. Yeah, I mean this slow start is being punished, but I don't think I wanted to go to 5 when I had a serviceable 6. Alright. So, as bad as it feels, I kind of have to, like, interact with the board somehow this turn, and I think it has to be Scourge. But they're going to be able to bring back Kroxa and give me the hands that way. I just have to do something, though, and then I have to hope that these follow-up Blood Braids are going to be strong. You got Apostle's Blessing, maybe? No, it's activating Courier. Yeah, makes sense. They're just trying to, I guess, find that fourth land to escape the Kroxa. And I'm going to have to make sure that these Blood Braids are good. I mean, I have a chance, like, if they play the Kroxa, I could also just draw spot removal. And if I draw spot removal, I have to do that over Blood Braid. Alright, they found it. They're not doing it, though. Okay. Maybe they just drew, like, double Thoughtseize. And they know my hand is double Blood Braid. They don't know the third card. Shadow. Okay. So Bolt doesn't work. They've got a Mire in play to fetch Shock and make it a 5/5. I think best case here is like a Liliana. I guess the Blood Braid into a Liliana would be the ultra best case. Alright, they know about the Mire. Let's play that. Get a Swamp. A swamp means that we can cast Kroxa next turn. I mean, I could also just get Kroxa into play now. Kind of like that. The thing is, though, if they fetch Shock and discard a land, this Shadow becomes an 8/8. But I mean, that means they have to be afraid of our Kroxa just killing them. Yeah, let's just escape Kroxa right now. Like, I'll die to Battle Rage, but that was kind of happening no matter what. Get the opponent hellbent here. Oh, is their last card a push? Brutal. Alright, well, they're going to take the 3 here. Yeah, this is not going well. Because now they get to hit us for a crap ton, and they escape their Kroxa. We discard. We're kind of forced to discard the Verdant then, the Blood Braid then too, right? Or else we just die to the hit. So they should escape first, then we're forced to discard the Blood Braid. I guess escaping second achieves the exact same thing. Alright, so now what we have to do is we have to draw another Blood Braid. That Blood Braid has to hit a way to deal with a creature. Or we can draw like Seasoned Pyromancer and have that draw a way to deal with a creature. Nope. Any spicy tech? Alright, let's bring in some Fatal Pushes. Let's bring in the Kitchen Finxes. Bring in some Spell Bombs. And I don't know that Ashiok is going to be good enough. I mean, it stops the Luris plan and it stops the Kroxa plan. So let's get it in there and then see how the rest of the deck looks. Opponent disconnected. Oops. Alright, well, I'm definitely taking out the Hand Disruption. The opponent doesn't play like Stubborn Denial or anything, so they get even worse. And everything else looks fine. Like, the opponent plays Bomat Courier and stuff, so both, I think, has additional value. I mean, everything else, like, looks pretty good. So it's just a matter of which two looks pretty good the least. I guess, like, a Bolt. Maybe even this Kolaghan's Command is good. It's on the slow side. I don't think I'm going to bring it in. I think the first one has a lot more value than the second one. I kind of like just taking out the second one. It's really expensive and doesn't kill a whole lot. Like, its most relevant mode is probably like get back a creature, but 3 mana regrow isn't going to be insane. Like, everything else just seems great. I guess we'll wait for the opponent to reconnect. Go get my charger in that time. Let's go first. I guess the opponent is still disconnected. Oh, they're back. Yeah, this hand's fine. We don't have a land to combo with the we don't have the mana to combo with the Ren and 6, but this hand is still just very fine. Maybe I just play Swamp to be able to not have to get a black source to push a 1 mana play. But I want to have the ability to cast Ren and 6 on 2 if I draw another land. So I think Verdant is still probably good. Alright, well maybe it doesn't matter. And I'll still get Stomping Ground with this. But maybe I just don't fetch if they take the Ren and 6. Because, like, I don't mind drawing another land, and I also just, like, don't have another 2 mana thing to do. So no fetch here is probably fine. Liliana's a great pickup, but it requires lands. Yep. It's a lot of Thoughtseize. Alright, I still think I'm not fetching. I want to draw a land. Give me that Blackleaf Cliffs. Nope. That hurts, but it's not terrible. Yep. So the opponent knows about the push. The decay can kill Lilianas if the opponent has a Liliana or two, so I still think I want to just use the push. Like, a push is easier to double spell with, but the opponent, A, doesn't know about the decay, and B, may have Lilianas that I want to kill. Alright, so given that we drew Stomping Ground, I think I'm getting Blood Crypt here. I want second black for the Ashiok I'm about to play. I also want double red. So we'll get Blood Crypt, say yes. Stomping Ground, say yes. And I think I want to mill myself, because I could find Kroxa. There's a Pyromancer. That's some value too. Scourge. Yep, that's a 5/5. Gonna just decay that probably. Or I could Liliana it. Should probably just Liliana it. Liliana is going to be highest impact going forward. I don't want it getting Inquisitioned or Thought Seized. And like, they could have a Lightning Bolt to finish off the Ashiok, which would be annoying, but I still think I want to be digging for like a Kroxa or something, getting rid of their yard so their Lurrus plan is worse. And there's a Kroxa. Their fetch is still also turned off, which is nice. But 3 lands is probably enough to do most everything. Alright, Lurrus to hand. And we've got the decay for it, which they don't know of. If I hit land here, it'll be awkward because I'll want a Bloodbraid, right? Alright, so I think I'm going to play Spellbomb, sacrifice Spellbomb immediately just to draw a card, because I really want to hit these lands. Lurrus isn't great as long as I've got this Ashiok going. And I do want to plus the Liliana to have it be another removal spell. Like, that would make me more... Having Liliana on 2 would make me more comfortable discarding this this decay. So when all is said and done, if I don't hit a land, I want to have Blood Crypt untapped in case I draw either a Bolt or a Push. There's a push. So let's plus, discard the decay. Now I'm keeping the push because it's the thing I can cast right now. I don't have Revolt, but I mean, still fine. Do I want to activate this Ashiok? I think I'm just going to not activate it here. They can't like buy back the Bloodstone Mire with their Lurrus. And I may want to save activations on future turns when there's actually some value to be gained. Lurrus. No bobble, please. Cool, no bobble. Alright. Just another Liliana. I mean, that's fine. Alright, so this Liliana is going to kill this Lurrus. And then I guess I'll just go Liliana plus the next one. Like, this Liliana is still removal, so it makes me okay discarding push. If they had multiple threats, they would have deployed them already. So I think continuing to eat the hand is probably beneficial. And now I will Ashiok because I want to get that Lurrus out of the game. Untapped land, please. I mean, Goyf is at least something. I think I'm not going to plus this Liliana. I think I'd rather just have a Bloodbraid in my hand. Like, this game is very unlikely to come down to an ultimate. It's probably just better to keep the Bloodbraid in hand. I mean, if I draw untapped land, I'm pretty likely to want to just escape a Kroxa anyway. But the opponent's hand can't be that good. There are no threats. It might just be more removal. Another Kroxa. So I can either plus Liliana discarding the Kroxa, or just cast the Kroxa from my hand. I guess I want to plus the Liliana. I'm assuming they've got removal and stuff, so I think I want to take the discard line that like has the Liliana being at 1 higher loyalty. Because if I cast Kroxa, I can't really plus the Liliana because I still want to keep the Bloodbraid. Kozilek's return. Alright, well I think I'm okay keeping the Ashiok just hanging around for another turn. Need to find the land before they find Gravehate of their own. Alright, they've had it. Alright. So Rakdos, Shadow still. I mean, I like the way I've sideboarded. I don't see much reason to change anything. I guess like Kolaghan's Command is the one thing that has some potential value, but I disliked it on the play. I think it gets even worse on the draw because it costs so much. Just resubmit. Yeah, this hand's fine. It doesn't have a 1 mana way to interact. We've got a Wrenn and 6, and we've got lots of powerful things to do afterwards. So if they've got like a quick Bomat Courier start, I might be scared. They mulligan to 5 though. That makes me more confident. Now, this is an Inquisition or Thoughtseize. It's unclear if they take the Wrenn and 6 or the Tarmogoyf because they're so low on resources that like they need to have threats and they need to have removal. So like Goyf is the threat they would need removal for on top of having their own threats. So, ooh. Alright, so they do have a quick start. Need like a push or a bolt. Blood Crypt. Alright, well I definitely don't want to fetch basic forest, because then I can't cast Kroxa pretty quickly. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'll play a Verdant Catacombs with the intention of getting Overgrown Tomb. I need to set up double green and double black. And then I want the Mire to get potentially a non-forest basic, so I think Verdant is the land I want to play first. This is a quick start, but I mean, this all can be disassembled with 1 or 2 removal spells, none of which I have. Liliana's removal, but it's a slow one. Wow, okay. Pretty quick start. Ideally, this Tarmogoyf can mostly stonewall the Swift Spears. And no play. Alright, so yeah, Overgrown Tomb, I believe. Also makes Blackleaf Cliffs the potentially highest upside draw. Spot removal would be really welcome here. And there's the forest. Not great. Alright, so we've got Artifact Land in the yard. So if the opponent has a single spell, Goyf is going to grow as well, which is still going to have it blocking a Swift Spear pretty alright. So I guess it's what land do I want to play? I guess it saves the most life if I get like a basic mountain now, but then I have to shock next turn if I want to get the Liliana down. But I don't have to shock if I want to play like Kitchen Finks, but then I will have to shock the turn after if I want to get the Liliana down anyway. I mean, I got to imagine their hand is like just like pushes and stuff. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm probably just going to shock this Blood Crypt and then play the Goyf, and then next turn I'll have the option between painlessly playing Liliana or painlessly playing Kitchen Finks. And then if they've got like Push or Dismember, they might just wait until their turn to get the Prowess triggers. Interesting that they didn't just pay a life at the end step. Alright, they did the thing that we predicted. So we're getting hit for a minimum 4, which puts us to 8. Swamp. So I think I want to play Bloodbraid on turn 4. So the question is, what do I want to play here on turn 3 before that happens? I think I have the highest upside of turning the race on its head if I play Liliana first, because then I get to kill something and they've got only a Swift Spear in play. Like, no matter what, if they draw like a Scourge or the Skyclaves, I'm in some trouble. I mean, if they don't have another spell, this Kitchen Finks might just be better, but I think I want to start emptying the board. Alright, so yeah, I'll Liliana here. And just Edict. Get rid of something. And I'm just gonna hope that the opponent's hand is some number of removal spells, and then I can clear the board and maybe stall. Yeah, the worst play the opponent could have here is put Lurrus into their hand, which is gonna be hard. Pretty quick start for their mulligan to 5, which is the way they win off a mulligan to a 5 probably. Is this just like Lurrus to hand or like a Kolaghan's Command? Alright. Get back a Swift Spear, kill that, yeah. I mean, we could be okay if the Bloodbraid hits something meaningful. Tarmogoyf. Is there any reason to now deploy a Wrenn and 6 and a Tarmogoyf? Tarmogoyf will more effectively stonewall any potential attackers. But like if this Bloodbraid hits removal, it gets us the farthest ahead. Thing is though, like this Bloodbraid really doesn't stonewall the Swift Spears very well, because like in the best case, this thing is trading. Because like I also don't have life to play with in terms of being able to fetch a bunch of times. So I think I'm just gonna go with the highest upside play, which is Bloodbraid. And then next turn I could potentially double spell, casting Tarmogoyf and Kitchen Finks, but that's triple green and I'd have to fetch Shock to do so. Yeah, I think I'm Bloodbraiding here. And then I'm gonna hope I hit just like a good threat or a removal spell. There it is. Alright, then I'll hold back the Bloodbraid because we know that the opponent has a Swift Spear in their hand, and I don't want to take damage. Like, I could knock him to 9 here, but then I can make a Shadow really big, which is another holding the opponent might have. They did go to use mana. They did let mana go to waste not too long ago, though. But that might have occurred because they just could not have played the Shadow yet. And then pretty interesting that they don't play the Swift Spear before they play the Night's Whisper. Shadow. Swift Spear. Alright, well we get to have them discard their last card with the Liliana. So if we draw like a push or a bolt here, it would be very good. We don't though. I mean, I'm going to have them discard their last card. Question is, what do I want to discard? I mean, I'm never triple greening right now. I don't think I want to lose the life. So I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to go probably just Wrenn and 6 and Tarmogoyf. Shadow is a 7/7. They've got Silent Clearing in place, so it's an 8/8 at will. Tarmogoyf is a 6/7. So I mean, we can double block, but if they draw removal, it's really disastrous. But I mean, I also like putting Glyph in play because they're at 6 and Glyph has 6 power. So like they've got to be careful too to some extent. And then I guess I should keep the land in hand. Oh, not really, because like this Liliana is edicting almost no matter what. I mean, if they like put Lurrus into their hand, then I'm gonna want the Liliana to plus and get the Lurrus out. But they're also just gonna be drawing a card, so they just discard the non-Lurrus thing. So this land might be better off just in play. I guess it's kind of free to hold it. Yeah, so let's just hold it for now. And then is there a consideration to literally just going at the face with this? This would put them to 5. They're at that makes their shadow a 9/9 at will, which means I have to block. But I mean, I have to block it already. Does it open up other potential outs? I still have bolts in the deck. I do not have Kolaghan's commands in the deck. But I mean, both. If I shoot them with it now, it puts them to 5. And then I shoot with them next turn, puts them to 4. That doesn't make either one of my creatures any more lethal. I mean, that said, the lands don't mean a whole lot anyway, so I think I will just go at the opponent. Alright, say go. And then if they attack with a shadow, I'll have to block with the Bloodbraid. But if they brick, they have to be afraid of the Goyf just one-shotting them. So it's close. Kitchen Finks is going to prove to be a pretty adequate barrier, barring a Temur Battle Rage. But I don't think I'm ever beating a Temur Battle Rage at this stage. Like, Shadows and Scourges are also just, like, additional things that are going to be hard to beat. They have just lots of good draws. They want me to sacrifice a creature. That's bad for me. So, I mean, now I have to chump a shadow anyway. Thanks for the follow. Alright, so they're both at me. And I have to block or I die. I mean, the opponent has 1 card left. I've got Liliana to kill their worst creature, and then Kitchen Finks can block twice in a row. I mean, I've got a small amount of time to find something. Ashiok. Alright, well, when the opponent inevitably has the Luris going, that's something. Alright, well, I'm definitely minusing. There goes the Swift Spear. Here comes a Kitchen Finks. And then I guess I go at the opponent again. This makes a Lightning Bolt just lethal to the face if I have the Ren and 6 sticking around. And then I guess, like, if the opponent plays a Kroxa, I'll probably just discard the Ashiok anyway. I guess I'll still hold the land. It's gonna be close. I need him to brick again. That's kind of a brick. This turn is going to be decided. This game is going to be decided pretty likely on my next draw step anyway, so at least this delays it. Block. Alright, I mean, Ren and 6 is an additional out after attacking for 2 and pinging for 1. I can ping for 1 again. So, I mean, Bolt does it here. Bloodbraid would also be very decent. Ren and 6 does it here. I did not bring in Kolaghan's command. Alright, they know what I'm drawing. Please not a land. Land would make it really difficult. Bolt would be really funny. Oh, it's Kroxa. Well, I doubt their hand is land. Alright, and I should Kroxa first. So that way Ashiok can exile whatever it is they discard. And they didn't put Lurrus into their hands. Like, you gotta think they've got something, but it's not removal. Is it really just 2 lands? Sure. Alright. Well, after the really rough start, pulled the 2 off in the back half, beating 2 Shadow decks. And I think Shadow is one of the matchups that Jund wants to see. It has a tendency to be pretty close, but we got the upper hand of it both times here. I mean, so like all in all, the deck felt really sweet. We didn't have to play against Uro or Field of the Dead or Mystic Sanctuary even once, or Violent Outburst. Thanks for the resub. So yeah, we didn't have to play against any of the more format warping stuff, but we did play against 3 of what I think are Jund's traditional bad matchups, which are any real variant of Tron, any variant of Primeval Titan Valakut, and any variant of Dredge. Those are the 3 things that I typically want to stay away from pre-Uro era. And we're kind of pre-Uro era again now that Uro no longer exists and Wizards decided to finally delete it from the face of existence. But yeah, I played against the 3 matchups I really didn't want to see. But the sideboard really wasn't tacked very well for those either. And that's just, I think, me being rusty playing against those things, because Uro and the decks that Uro brings along kind of pushed out all of those matchups. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of Tron, there wasn't a whole lot of Dredge. But now with those things coming back, I'm going to need to really fine-tune the sideboard to be stronger versus the new matchups that we don't want to see. But I mean, against the 2 decks that weren't bad for the deck, we obviously did pretty fine. And the deck felt good. So that's going to be it for this recording. I hope everyone out there has a good time with the new non-Uro worlds that we're in. And I hope to have some more good experiences without Uro existing. So until next time, have a good one and join them out.